We currently find ourselves in the 9 days where we mourn for the destruction of the temple. Tisha B'Av on Saturday night and Sunday is a 25-hour fast day where we sit on the ground and we mourn for the destruction of the temple. And one of the stories we read in the Talmud is the Talmud finds one rabbi who is to blame for 2,000 years that we are in exile, to blame that we are now not in our home in Jerusalem, on the Temple Mount, where the third temple will be rebuilt. And here's the story the Talmud says. So once upon a time, there was a man, we'll call him Mr. X. Talmud doesn't say his name, but he made a big party. The Talmud doesn't say what it was. It was a wedding, it was a bar mitzvah, whatever it was, and he invited all the important people in town. It was a big deal in Jerusalem. And he sent his servant to invite his friends. And on his friend list was a man by the name of Kamta. And in those days there was no Evite, there was no WhatsApp, no Telegram. So the servant went door to door. And instead of giving an invitation to Kamta, he made a mistake and he gave an invitation to Bar Kamta. Bar Kamta, the son of Kamta, maybe it was his son, who knows. Bar Kamta was a sworn enemy of this person. So he gets an invitation and he knows the whole city's coming. And he knows him and Mr. X are enemies. But he thought to himself, why is Mr. X inviting me? It must be that he wants to make peace with me. He wants to bury our grudges, bury our arguments and our fights. So he gets a tuxedo, puts on a nice suit, and he goes to this ceremony. Mr. X recognizes him right away. And he says, what are you doing here? And he says, you invited me. He says, I didn't invite you, it's a mistake. He says to him quietly, well, since I'm here already, do you mind if I stay? I'll pay for my meal. If my meal costs, I don't know, $100, I'll pay for it. And Mr. X says, absolutely not, get out. So Bar Kamta says, since I'm here already, I'll make you a counter offer. I'm willing to pay for half the expenses of the entire meal. Just don't embarrass me, don't throw me out. And Mr. X says, absolutely not. I would have taken that deal, half the expenses. But Bar Kamta makes another counter offer. He says, I'm willing to pay for everything. If the wedding costs you, I don't know, $500,000, I'll pay for the whole thing. Just don't embarrass me. Any person would have taken that deal. Mr. X says, absolutely not, get out. I don't want to hear it, get out. And he sends his bodyguards to throw him out. Bar Kamta was so ashamed, he was so mortified, he was so embarrassed. He said, since Mr. X threw me out, and all the rabbis who were there, not one rabbi protested, not one rabbi stood up for me, I'm going to now tell on the Jews, I'm going to get them. Even though he was a Jew as well. He went to the Roman emperor and he told him, Mordu Bach Yehudai, the Jews have rebelled against you. And to prove it, send them a sheep to offer on their temple, on their altar, and you will see they won't take it because it's from you and they're rebelling against you. So the Roman emperor sent a sheep. And on the way, Bar Kamta took the sheep to lip and made a blemish, like cut with a knife, made a little blemish on the lip. To the Romans, this is considered nothing, but to the Jews, a blemish on the sheep means you cannot offer the sacrifice on the altar. So the Jews received this gift from the Roman emperor, and they were debating what to do. Should we offer it because we want to appease the Roman emperor, or should we not offer it? And there was a Jew by the name of Zechariah ben Avkulus, he was the rabbi. And they asked him, and he said, absolutely not, because if we offer it, people will say in future that you're allowed to offer sacrifices that are blemished on their lips. And in order to avoid this at all costs, no, absolutely not. So there were some people there who wanted to kill Bar Kamta. So you shouldn't go tell the Roman emperor that they're not offering the sacrifice. And Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkulus said, people will say that for making a blemish on the lip of a sacrifice, we kill you. And that cannot be. So they let him go. And he went to tell the Roman emperor. And the Roman emperor was livid with rage. And he thought the Jews had rebelled against him. And he went up and he destroyed Jerusalem, killing a lot of Jews. And the destruction of the temple exists until today. The western wall that is there is an outer western wall of the temple. And we are waiting for the last close to 2,000 years that the temple should be rebuilt. And the Talmud says, out of this whole story, who is to blame? The Talmud says, An vasnusoi, the humility of Zechariah ben Avkulus, hechriva es mikdashenu, the humility of Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkulus destroyed our temple. Now I want to ask you, first of all, what does it mean the humility of Zechariah ben Avkulas? Humility, like what did that got to do with anything? Second of all, why blame Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkulas? What did he do wrong? In fact, if I would find somebody to blame in the story, how about Mr. X for throwing out Bar Kamsa? How about Mr. Bar Kamsa himself for going to the Roman emperor? How about the rabbis who didn't protest? Why in the story do you blame specifically Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkulas? And why do you call it his humility? Doesn't make sense. So it's here that we find a profound answer. You see, Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkulas, his humility was indicative of the Jews at that time. That means everybody thought of themselves as a tiny little screw in the system. My actions won't make a difference. Everybody saw themselves as like humility. If Zechariah ben Avkulas would have realized the ramifications of his deed, if he would have realized that Jerusalem would have been destroyed and we would be in exile for 2,000 years and there would be a Holocaust that would destroy 6 million Jews, as well as October 7 and a fight and a war for Israel's existence, do you think he would have done what he would have done? He would have allowed the sheep to be offered. If Bar Kamsa would have realized the ramifications of his actions, that we are in exile today for 2,000 years, he would have never done it. He would have never gone to the Roman emperor. If he would have realized that 1 million Jews would have been killed and slaughtered by the Romans, and the Romans would take and capture our menorah and our items from the temple and put it in the Vatican until today, that's where it is. He would have never done it. And if Mr. X would have thought that his tiny little action of kicking out Bar Kamsa would have destroyed the temple, would make us in exile for 2,000 years, he would have also never done it. But each person didn't realize that his actions matter, that his actions can change the world and can have repercussions for 2,000 years. And the message from the story is so clear. You see, just like when it comes to sinning, when it comes to bad, our actions have a ripple effect across the universe for thousands of years. So too when it comes to a mitzvah. Your mitzvah today can change the world. It can have a ripple effect across the universe. By you putting on tefillin, you think, oh, I'm in my house, I'm in my home, I'm just saying the Shema. Who cares? No. It can have a ripple effect, it can affect the universe. By you lighting Shabbat candles, it's a 2-second act, 30-second act. You're saying a blessing. You have the power to affect the world by you choosing to keep kosher even one time, by you keeping Shabbat even one time, by you studying Torah, by you listening to this class and sharing with your friends. You can have repercussions that can last a lifetime, that can change the world. Maimonides says we should view the world as one big scale. On the one side of the scale are all the good deeds that you have ever done, and all the good deeds that your generation has ever done, and all the good deeds that every single Jew since the dawn of civilization has done. That's on the one side. And on the other side of the scale is every sin that you have done, and every sin that every Jew in your generation has done, and every sin that every Jew throughout all time has done, and the scale is equal. On the one side the good deeds, and the other side the sins. Now, when you choose today to go out and do a mitzvah, you could sin, you could speak gossip, you could slander, you could steal, you could murder, you could eat non-kosher, but you could also do Torah, you can do tefillin, you can come to shul, you can make a minyan. Your one mitzvah will tip the scale right now. And when it does, it will have a ripple effect across the universe, because that will be the mitzvah that will bring Mashiach, that will rebuild the temple, that will gather all the Jews from from across the world, that we will all live in Israel, the biblical borders of Israel, which extend way, way beyond what Israel is today, way into Egypt, into Syria, into Lebanon, into Iraq. That's modern day Israel will extend when Mashiach comes. So lest you think that your mitzvah cannot accomplish anything, the message from the story is that your mitzvah today can change the world. So go out, do the mitzvah, and let's bring Mashiach. And we won't have to fast on Tisha B'Av. It will be the greatest joyous day in the calendar.